Times are hard these days. We've all suffered trauma during this unprecedented time in our country and have all felt the wrath of the dumpster fire that is 2020. From the death of Kobe and Gianna and 8 others to David Stern to icons Little Richard, John Lewis, and most recently Chadwick Boseman. We must have agitated a hornet's nest because we have been attacked by a swarm of despair and have been stung constantly without time to heal from the first sting. The initial wave of a pandemic, the current losing battle against COVID-19 infecting millions and killing 200,000 people to date, forced people home, over 43 million people sit home without a job, unemployed, and at home just long enough to see a public lynching of George Floyd, followed by burning cities and widespread protest on their TV, computer, or smartphone. There was dissension everywhere you looked. Lines were drawn, colors and sets were claimed, and people moved further and further apart. But then something happened. The NBA restarted their season and also restarted a sense of hope and joy in an otherwise bleak existence for many. With so much uncertainty about how to contain the spread of the virus and how to avoid infection, the NBA, along with the Players Union, an expert team of doctors and scientists, created a bubble that has proven to be the safest place that we had in America at the time. They have the blueprint and revealed it for the world to see how to create a clean, safe, and profitable environment. To the end, there were no positive corona cases. Of the 400 plus players, they were tested every day, sometimes twice a day. Restrictive movements around campus. Their strict quarantine policies were there for a reason. It works when everyone complies. Note to our once nationwide mass debate on whether or not that was necessary. The NBA instituted 4-day to 7-day mandatory quarantine for players who left the bubble. You leave the bubble and behave and come back, 4 days. You end up in Magic City for wings, definitely 7 days. Every league that didn't follow suit suffered, as we all saw outbreaks in the MLB, the NFL, and the NHL, in alarming numbers before it was brought under control. Were they watching the NBA? They gave us the blueprint. Now who will follow? Floyd, Aubrey, Taylor, Blake. At a time of social unrest, the NBA players were at the forefront of the protest, along with ex-NBA player Stephen Jackson, friend of Floyd, to not only honor these fallen soldiers, but to lend their voice, their support, and their dollars to the causes that they believe in and fight for, representing the unrepresented. The NBA backed them with Black Lives Matter on the courts, t-shirts, advertisers, alike now suddenly all proclaiming BLM like a familiar battle cry, when just a few years ago, it didn't seem familiar to most people. Those cries of BLM keep going unanswered. Following the shooting of Jacob Blake, the monumental decision to boycott and stop play in the midst of the playoffs, forcing those same advertisers, sponsors, and billionaires to dig a little deeper into their pockets, allow the players to take time to not only grieve, heal, and decompress, but to come up with a tangible plan of action with leaders who can make change, or at least be forced to explore and implement change. The NBA did that. They gave us the blueprint. Now who's gonna follow? There was a time when the NBA was not the shining example of professional sports. Games were on tape delay, attendance were down, black players being thought of as thugs, and fights were rampant and sometimes brutal. And drugs were standard operating procedure. To MJ's surprise, his rookie year with the traveling cocaine circus that was the early 1980 Chicago Bulls. Now these same black men are truly the shining example of class, charisma, professionalism, entrepreneurship, and power in this country. A multi-billion-dollar conglomerate of young, talented black men who after their careers can show us even more. Just as Kobe Bryant showed us with his successful media company and Oscar win. They're more than just athletes, and they will not just shut up and dribble. The ability to entertain is what we see, to jump high or shoot from deep. The ability to protest, to unify, to sacrifice, and to operate during the toughest time that we have ever faced. Have we really paid attention? They've showed courage for all, compassion to all others, and conviction in their beliefs. Yep, the NBA did that. So to all of America, these young, prominent men, we all can learn from others' examples and experiences, and especially during a time like this, I'm wondering to all, were you listening? Were you paying attention? Did you learn anything?